Are you a man that's feeling a bit lost in this modern landscape? Do you struggle with either romance, community, friendship, or addiction? Do you hate your job, or do you dislike who you have become? Or do you just want to know what's wrong with society? Then buckle up. This video is for you. So first, I must explain a very important concept to you, and that is from this book, which is absolutely amazing. And if you want to learn more about the sort of masculine journey from boy to man, you have to get this book. It is super good. But as you can see, it says King, Warrior, Magician, Lover. And basically, just to put it super simply for you until you read the book, it is the 4 types of men that you can aim to become, or that you should become. Now, according to the book, you should become a little bit of everything, but one is your main thing, your main class, so to speak. However, when we are children and later adolescents, we are the sort of immature version of these things. So for the king, it is the divine child. Think Simba in The Lion King, and narcissistic diva that is to become a king, but is just spoiled and needs to sort of get punched in the face a couple of times. Then you have the hero and the warrior, which is what we're going to mainly be talking about today, because the warrior is non-existent basically in our modern society, because we are not allowed to go from being a hero to a warrior. And the difference between a hero, which dreams and fantasizes about achieving great things and being a sort of gladiator in an arena and stuff like that, and a warrior, is that the warrior has actually been through some stuff, done the initiations, and has been tested and broken. And that is what separates a hero from a warrior, where the hero has no concept of failure or death, and therefore no sort of ability to think about the consequences of their actions. They just want the glory, they want the action, but it is not for being effective and potent like a warrior is. It is more for the admiration and respect. When talking about Disney movies, Hercules is a perfect example of this, where when he just sort of does things for the admiration of others, it doesn't work out. It is only when he actually has a cause and get to put his strength to a use that things go well. And that is the thing. A hero and later a warrior is without a cause completely useless, and that is part of the reason why you feel this existential dread, because you are not needed, you feel like, but that is not true. One of the things a warrior has to learn is the things that he can control and the things that he can't control. And that is, the hero's demise is when they go up against the world or an opponent that breaks them. So a warrior realizes that you can control yourself and your house. You cannot control other people or the world, and there are opponents that will defeat you if you take them on head on. So a warrior instead becomes more effective, more pragmatic, more tempered, and sort of analyzes things well before going into battle. And that is a good soldier. A bad soldier would be the guy that doesn't take care of his stuff, and he's not reliable. He just wants the sort of stars and stuff like that. And what you need to do is identify your duty and responsibilities, your cause, so to speak. And we're going to talk more about that in just a second. But I just want to say might be a long video, so buckle up, be patient. We have to go through a lot of things. So there's more than combat training to being a soldier. I did basic training and then I was in the National Guard for a couple of years, but this is basically just from basic training. And the thing is that the hero only wants to do the fun stuff. He wants to play Call of Duty in real life, and then he realizes that real life is just a pain in the ass compared to video games. And there's for sure some combat training because you have to be potent as a soldier, but there's also a lot of maintenance of, taking care of the building or cleaning stuff, cleaning your gun, repairing things, and of course maintenance of yourself. But this is what I call self-care, and this means that you have to be in good shape. You have to take care of yourself mentally and your bodies, be fit, be in shape, and combat ready. And then you have the discipline part, which is basically learning to do things that you don't want to do for the greater potency of yourself and the mission. And one of the things that you learn then is to fall in line, take orders, and sort of be a unit, mission before self. And of course, all of these go into one another, and they are all integral for the soldier to become effective, simply put. Because here's the thing, where a hero just wants to do the fun stuff, just wants the glory, they do not yet have the notion that they are mortal. Whereas a soldier, an effective soldier, will analyze and think what is the most effective way, and they don't want to be seen, they don't want to stand out, they just want to get the mission done. So there's a higher level of pragmatism where they have removed all of these sort of fantasies and romantic ideas of what being a warrior actually is. And they truly enjoy the boring stuff, which the hero hates. They enjoy the boring stuff because they have learned what it means to do the boring stuff or to not do the boring stuff. And if they can bleed in the training room, if they can, just embrace the suck, as they say, then the real thing will become so much easier and safer. Do you follow my lead? And that's the thing. When looking at people who work out, there's a huge difference in because all people who work out a lot have this sort of hero/warrior mindset. But where bodybuilders work out just for the looks and the impression that they can make on other people, real warriors work out only for function. And that is the measuring stick that they go by. What can they perform? Are they improving? You can see this in strongman, which is a surprisingly bitchy sport, and that is because a lot of crybabies have come in and they are sort of chasing records and trying to one up each other. And that is because they lost the sort of grounding naturalistic style of strongman, where it was only about strength and performance on that day. And crossfitters, while they are sort of they train for performance, but it shows just the longing of actually becoming a warrior, where you have this guy sort of living his very boring and boxed in life, where he is not allowed to be a warrior, so he does it in the gym, and it's sort of a proxy, but it just shows a longing for something far more intense, because you cannot fake this. You have to actually go through some very, very difficult stuff to bring out this inner warrior inside of you. And it's basically doing it voluntarily almost means that it's not hard enough. You have to go through some actual tribulations put upon you by life or other people. One of the things that the French Legion sorts out their applicants by is good teeth. And I have bad teeth, and that is because I used to be a hero and I would not take care of myself, which is a must amongst soldiers. And that is because this shows you their character. If they cannot take care of their teeth, then they will not take care of their weapon, perhaps. And that is why discipline is so important. And, that means that just doing the stuff that you want to do does not make you a warrior. So these ice plunges or cold showers or stuff like that, it's not enough. It's a fake ritual, a fake sort of fake what's the word? Fake initiation rite. And our society has become filled with these fake initiation rites. And it's a huge, huge problem because we have all these sort of light things where it just shows how much we actually long to do, to be the gladiator in the arena, but it's not the real. And instead, today, we have this sort of Hakuna Matata mentality where men give up on their sort of chosen path towards greatness, whether it is being a warrior, a king, magician, or whatever, and instead just live the sort of lazy life with scrolling on your phone and being a bitch, basically. And this is the problem with this sort of just be yourself sort of thing, because just being the child that you were born into this world is staying immature in a way. And it's so easy to think that, oh, well, why would you want to have to become all of this to, defeat the world, blah, blah. It is because the world is not suited for children. You are only supposed to be a child until you become a man. And the world doesn't really give a shit about what, you think about yourself or what you think the world should be. There is actual real problems in this world, and a lot of these people that live this Hakuna Matata life do not realize that they would not be able to if it wasn't for police, firemen, army, soldiers, and construction builders and stuff like that. And they just live this sort of limbo life, and it's no wonder you're just depressed and anxious because you're not doing anything. You're just living off other people and scrolling on your phone and trying to live all Hakuna Matata, but no one wants to hang out with a grown-up child. You are supposed to be yourself after becoming something, and that is a completely different story. So let's talk about how you become something. Here's the thing, right? There used to be all sorts of initiation rites in our society that was not only celebratory but also guiding and also made us grow up. So you had military service, of course, but also stuff like your first hunt. Marriage used to mean something. It was, the crossover to living for something more than yourself. So your family, your spouse, and your children, but more so the family unit that was a higher calling. Having children as well used to mean something a lot more than what it does today. Just a lifelong commitment to, again, a higher cause than yourself. And even the military service was, something bigger than yourself. You were a part of something. We used to have, apparently, I didn't even know this, initiation rites and traditions for celebrating sort of sexuality. And now, of course, instead it's just a joke. Confirmation is still something that exists, at least where I live, but it's just a routine. We used to have initiation rites in academia. We used to have it sort of that the first death in your family as a child, you would be sort of present for it, apparently. You know, this is so long ago that my generation doesn't even remember it. Instead, we have this sort of participation trophy generation that has now grown up, and we feel lost and alone because all of these things is to become a part of something greater than yourself, but also to grow up and not be a child anymore. So going from hero to warrior, from divine child to king, or the lover and the magician parts of it. Another thing, and this is very important, is hazing, which has been phased out due to how soft society has become since the introduction of modern feminism. And this is not a controversial statement at all in my mind. Just listen to what I'm saying. The feminist movement has always been aware that they want to make society softer. Because obviously, especially back in the day when you had groups of all men, that is a very rough sort of environment. This is because hazing is as natural to men as it is unnatural to women. And if you think about the different sort of contexts where things have gotten just infinitely much softer than it used to be, you have things like the military service, but also amongst firefighters, police, academia, and workplace, so construction and stuff like that. And hazing is now seen as some sort of toxic bullying. And in a way, that is exactly what it is. But it is vital. It is so important because it is a test to see your character. Because, like I said earlier, I'll say it again, the world does not give a fuck about your feelings. It doesn't care what diagnosis you have. It doesn't care that your leg is hurting. It doesn't care about what you think it should be. The world is as it is, and the real world, the actual world, beyond the comfort of your house, of your car, of your cute little Western society with all of the electricity and the plumbing and stuff like that, is a very, very hard and brutal place to be. And sometimes this brutal part of the world, or not sometimes, actually always, you just don't see it. It shows up and it is unavoidable. You have things like horrible crimes, you have fires, you have thunderstorms, you have war. And this softness that has been ingrained into our society is very bad in this context. The fact that, police stations, the military, and the firefighting departments have lowered their standards and removed hazing is an absolute disaster. Because in these real world, real life situations that you don't understand until you've been in them, you don't understand until you've seen it and done it, just how indifferent the world actually is to your feelings. It doesn't care at all. And in a lot of these situations, basically all of them, there is no relative resistance. It doesn't ease up on you based on who you are or what you're capable of. There is no socialism or communism or fairness or equity or equity in the real life. There is only equality. And hazing exists or existed among soldiers, firefighters, and policemen, and also athletic teams, for you to show what you are made of, what your character is, if you are resilient, before having to test that in a real world situation, a live action situation, where other people's lives are at stake. Because here's the thing, when talking about the hero, there are so many tough guys that it's just a front, because it's so easy to be tough when you don't have to prove it. It's so easy to act smart when you don't have to prove it. And that is why you have hazing, so that they either break and then conform and get their feet down on the ground and realize that they can't just pretend, they actually have to do the things, but also so that you can get rid of the people that don't cut it. And that's the huge problem in today's society. Everyone cuts it. The systems are all made for everyone to pass, and that is just insane. Not everyone is supposed to be passing everything. Not everyone is supposed to be a firefighter. Because if you can't stand the heat, and if you don't have the physical strength for it, you are a liability. And the same is true for soldiers, and the same is true for policemen. And if you are a liability, you are more useless than not existing at all. It is better to be alone than to have a fake ally and have to drag someone else. Hazing still exists in groups, and you should know that when you encounter it, you should be happy. Because hazing in a friend group means that there is loyalty and a wall around the group, and it's not just whoosy-doosy whatever. We're not just hanging out because we like it in this moment. You see, this sort of fleeting, just do whatever you want, whatever fits you. It is per definition unloyal. People who say that you should only be with, someone as long as you like them, or as long as you have a crush on them, they are per definition illoyal. Because this sort of butterfly crush feeling that you have is not love. Love is realizing this person dedicates their life to me. They chose me instead of everyone else. Is there a greater act of love than sacrificing everything else for a person or a family? No. So whatever your sort of system signals of, dopamine and serotonin and, having butterflies and whatever tells you, It's just bullshit. It's just lubricant for the greater love that lies beyond ahead in the relationship. And this sort of loyalty supersedes that. Because real loyalty is sticking together no matter what. Because you have hazed and validated that person and come to the conclusion that this is my ally, this is my teammate. And that's the problem with this modern dating scene. It's just disgusting all over. This sort of fleeting emotional based, you just live in the moment, like it's right here, right now. Fuck off. Fuck off. We all know it's bullshit. It's just hoe stuff, slut stuff, men or women. It's bad. And it allows for no depth, because if you have no sort of borders or boundaries, if you let anyone in and anyone out, that means that you are in and out whenever you feel like it. And the thing is, you gotta find the right people. Gotta find the right people to surround yourself with. And that is why people are attracted to stuff like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and arm wrestling. And I didn't mean to trash Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu earlier, because it's great. It's sort of this practice of this male sort of combat joy. It's great, fantastic. I love Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and like I said, I didn't mean it as being fake, but it is a proxy, but it is also practice. And it is in these sort of contexts that you will find the right people. Motorcycle clubs, people who like to work out, people who like to win, people who like to become successful. But here's the thing, right? This is very important, and this is the point of the initiation, right? For you yourself to become a warrior instead of a hero, you have to actually do the thing. You have to actually fight to be a fighter. And that is the blessing and the curse of man. You can become anything you want if you do the thing. Because doing the thing makes you the thing. And then it doesn't matter what anyone else says. You know, I had this sort of funeral for myself. Sort of. It was great, actually, in many ways. Because I could let go of some old stuff. But when I said that I was a soldier and now I'm not, that was wrong. Shouldn't have done that. Because I am a soldier, because I am a soldier. I am still a soldier. I am still enlisted. If there's war, I will have to go. And I am still a soldier because I am those things that a soldier is. So that was bad, but I'm not, you know, I wanted to clarify that I'm not someone that self-sacrifices for other people unnecessarily. But I got it all a bit confused. People these days join gangs. Or, gangs, groups of, where you have to do something to get in. And it is bad, but it is understandable. It shows this longing for a belonging. And true belonging is, if anyone can come, if anyone can be there, then it's not a belonging, then it's not a community. A community always has borders. This has always been the case, and it's natural. And to become something, you have to do the certain things. To get a black belt in karate, if you can just buy it, doesn't mean anything. You get it? It's doing the thing that transforms you, not the celebration. I could put on a black belt right now and I wouldn't be any better in karate for that. Even if someone authorized gave it to me, wouldn't mean anything. It's actually doing the thing that makes you a black belt. So don't join a gang. Just learn what sort of initiation rites will bring you to the right people. For me, something that I have to do, because here's the thing, a real warrior, the difference, like I said, between a hero and a real warrior is that one of the differences is that a hero only does what they are good at because they want to just show off, and they hate working on their weaknesses because it shows their weaknesses. A warrior has learned that yes, you have some sort of primary thing that you should be getting better at and be as good as you can, but you also have to eliminate weaknesses and holes in yourself. And for me, what I have to do right now, it's not really related to the warrior thing, but I have to start doing improv stand-up. And I don't want to because I'm so bad at it. And that's exactly why I have to do it. I train more cardio. I hate it so much, but I do it because I'm bad at it. I stretch and I hate it, but I do it because I'm bad at it. And then I still train strength. It's what I'm good at and I like it. Addiction and feeling bad comes from not doing what you are supposed to be doing. If you are fulfilling your destiny and on the right track, addiction will go away from itself, go away on itself. I 100% believe this. And this is not contradicted by modern psychology. It is not stated either, because it's more of a humanistic existential thing. But I have noticed it so much. When I'm doing, obviously, if you're having fun, if you do the things that you enjoy, really enjoy, or that you find interesting, you don't have a craving for your screen. You know this. And for me, tobacco, I forget about it sometimes when I'm having a lot of fun. But when I did boring industrial jobs, it was the only thing that was available to, give any sort of pleasure. And here's the thing. When you're doing the wrong thing in life, when you're in the wrong place, or you're not yourself, you will feel bad. And you will try to somehow cope or mask it. And screens is like, if you're bored, that is because your body wants you to do something interesting and you refuse. So you sit there in some sort of locked limbo and you feel bad, and that is the boredom that you feel. It is locking yourself up. That is boredom. There is no such thing as boredom, really. If you don't have anything to do, the natural state, you should be fine with just doing nothing or thinking about stuff, just relaxing. It is the feeling bad in the silence, in the vacuum, that makes you look at screens. And if you're doing stuff, you don't have a vacuum. If you engage in things that fulfill you and take up all of your bandwidth, you don't have any vacuum, and you will have nothing to be forced to cover up. And this goes for all addiction. A lot of people out here on the countryside, if they become unemployed, they start drinking. If they get a job again, they stop drinking. You just got to find your purpose, your direction, and your vision. And I already talked about this, but I'll say it again. The world does not give a fuck about your diagnosis, about your preconditions, about your illnesses, or what you think it should be. And the world is also other people. No one cares. You are not a victim in any other sense that we're all victims of this world. Everyone has problems. And whining about them just makes it worse. Now you can talk about stuff and feel stuff to an extent. I really, really believe that we are so much over exaggerating this notion of feeling everything through and through and through. I know this because I just went through a heartbreak, and everyone's like, oh, you gotta feel yourself through it. Well, it can also become a habit. Whining can become a habit. Feeling bad can become a habit. Maybe you should do something. Maybe you should actually stop looking backwards at what has been and feeling sad about it and look forward. But in order to look forward, you have to have a plan and a vision, and you have to do stuff. Because doing stuff is for the future. Because doing stuff means that you can't sit around and think and feel about other things. And feeling what you're feeling and complaining is taking up the slot of dreaming about the future, planning for the future, and doing stuff. And that is so important. How much do you fill up your day, your time, your energy, and use your time, energy, and money as a placeholder for doing stuff? Action, brutal amounts of action and volume, is the way for almost everyone. Whether you are a warrior or you're something else, you have to do stuff. The shadow side of the magician is just whining and thinking instead of reading and learning it to others. Just an example. Shadow side of the lover is being alone and complaining about women. Incels, basically. Black pill, red pill. It's the shadow side of the lover. All of the shadow sides or the undeveloped sides basically comes from giving up. So in The Lion King, when Simba flees from the, after Mufasa dies and stuff like that, and lands in Hakuna Matata, where with Timon and Pumbaa, that is escaping your destiny and not doing anything. And guess what? Losers eat bugs. Timon and Pumbaa, if you don't want to do anything and just no worries, that is giving up. That is accepting defeat. I'm not going to go face Scar. I'm just going to sit here and eat my bugs. That is the entire black pill community. The red pill is a little bit better, but it's still garbage. Still trash. Because here's the thing. Here's what they don't understand. They think logically. They think rationally. And guess what? Facing a dragon or facing Scar is not logical and rational. It means that you might die. It means that you might get hurt again. But that is the warrior way. A warrior without war is just a nobody. It's just a shitter. And the thing about Disney movies is that they have sort of fucked up our minds. I'm not going to go into it a whole lot, but the Disney movies are very important because they paint us archetypal stories. They're very important. So just bear with me, just accept that Disney movies is basically different kind of lives. But they are always based on the undeveloped version of whatever it is that they're portraying. So Hercules is about the hero becoming a warrior. But the warrior part of it is after the movie ends. The Lion King is about the divine child becoming king, but the king part is after it. So we relive these sort of immature stories and we thrive in them and we don't want to leave them because or we just fail or we just give up. There's two kinds of people in this world, those who actually try and those who just give up. So think about what the hero becomes. Think about what happens after the Disney movies, because that's what you should aim for. It's so easy to conflagrate or confuse, like, so, our lives has a beginning and an end, and then stuff happens and we are the main character in our lives, and that's why the Disney movies are so important. But the end of your life should not be the end of the Disney movie. That is the end of your first part of your life. And Jung explained this perfectly. He said that, until you are 30 or 40 years old, you live one life, basically, I'm paraphrasing, and then you live your real life. And the real life is the one that comes after the Disney movie. The warrior life or the king life. And it's good that there's almost no stories about that, because that should be your own story. I'm going to quote Teddy Roosevelt. And this summer I'm going to learn this by heart, but I don't. And it's the man in the arena. And that means that basically, fuck what the haters say, fuck what the people on the sidelines say, fulfill your destiny, become great, and even if you fail, it's the man in the arena, that's you, the gladiator in the Colosseum, that is the beast and the winner. And the people on the sidelines, you suck, and they have given up, and they are not in the arena, they are sitting on their asses. And be the man in the arena, and you will not be lost anymore. Comment down below, and please like and subscribe, and have a great day, everyone.